But let me present Dr. Mרגלית, because I think he takes a very important role in our cyber life in Israel. Aראל, Dr. Mרגלית is an Israeli politician and a high-tech and social entrepreneur. In 2013, Mרגלית was elected to the 19th Knesset as a representative. Knesset is the Israeli parliament. As a representative of the Labour Party. Previously, he was the founder and managing partner of the Jerusalem-based venture capital firm, Jerusalem Ventures Partners, which we all know under the name of JVP Israel. In 2005, Forbes International Business Magazine selected Mרגלית as a top-ranking non-American venture capitalist on the prestigious Midas, which is the Golden Touch, list. And in 2002, Mרגלית founded the social organization Bakehila. And we all know what does it mean to deal with the social life as a means of reducing the socio-economic gap affecting disadvantaged children in Jerusalem. I'm very proud to ask Member of Knesset, Dr. Aראל Mרגלית, to come to the podium. Thank you very much.
Rami, thank you very much. You are owed a big applause for organizing what I think is probably one of Israel's most impressive technology conferences that I've seen for a long time, under a big theme, which is not only a theme for the technology community, but hopefully will become a theme in a big way for our country and our high-tech industry as well. As Rami said, I come from the business world, the entrepreneurial world, and I'm happy to be here to take a day off from the Knesset and be here again within the entrepreneurial community of Israel, which I think the political world still needs to graduate to be on its level. Because if you look at Israeli society, you look at the restaurant business, the communications business, the media business, and of course the high-tech business, in the last 20 years, Israel's made a major step forward. There's only one field in Israel that is somewhat behind, which is the political system. But we will hope it will become entrepreneurial, almost like cyber, in the next few years. The topic that I wanted to address very quickly is the convergence between technology and innovation and social change, and how it could bring about the transformation of a certain part of the country. And what I want to ask from my government and from us in the Knesset, when we're seeing such an impressive showing from the business community in Israel, is Be'er Sheva going to be a cyber mirage? You know how it is in the desert when it's very warm? You begin to see things and imagine things. Or it's going to be a real cyber oasis with water and shade and figs and all these things you need in the desert. And I will want to say that I think the entrepreneurial community in Israel is ready for this big challenge. And what we have to ask back for the government is whether it too is ready to do more than talk, but to put its money where its mouth is, to make it a national project, just like when Intel came to Israel, it was a national project, and to put the kind of incentives behind the business community so that Be'er Sheva becomes a real opportunity. Now, why my last big venture in the business world before I got elected into the Knesset was creating a cyber incubator in Be'er Sheva with JVP, and why now I think it's such a big task in the Knesset as well. Well, as you know, guarding Jerusalem in a big way was always a big issue. And just like you have in ancient times, you have it today, you always had walls. You assumed that the enemy was from outside and you put a big wall in order to guard yourself. So you have the walls of Jerusalem, and you have the wall of China, and you have the Maginot Line in France that was protecting between Germany and France. But one thing that we know is that all these walls were broken. And all these walls cannot be the single paradigm for protecting organizations. We need a new paradigm because we need to assume that some of the enemies is already from within. And when the enemy is within, it is often dormant, sitting quietly. It's within your organization, sometimes in your business, in your home. And the question is, how do we know when the enemy will rise up to do something? So we need a new paradigm. When we need a new paradigm, we should think of this. Salt. Angelina Jolie. It's a metaphor you can understand. You remember the movie? She's an agent in the CIA who is a good agent, although it was sent by the Russians, but she intercepts Russian agents and saves the world. And the new concept of the cyber defense is much more like Angelina Jolie than it is like the Wall of Jerusalem. And it's a good thing. And we need to assume that a lot of the cyber paradigm that was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when you can block the enemy and not let that enemy enter your organization, and the cyber challenge was for large organizations, all that has changed. We have new challenges that we need today for the cyber opportunity, and then the big problem of the world can become Israel's major economic opportunity in the next 10 years. And so, think about it when you think about yourself, not in terms of large companies. Is the money in your bank safe? Well, some of it is, but if you read the papers, every day, just like in Jesse James times in the West, money is taken out of accounts of individuals. When you're hosting information in the cloud, is it safe? You remember that movie, The Marathon Man? They always ask, is it safe? Well, is it? Because you're putting your patient medical records, you're putting your biometric ID, you're putting your credit card, and you're hosting it somewhere in the cloud. You're trusting somebody else to protect it. And the question you need to ask yourself, is it safe? Is the energy source near your home safe when a lot of hackers can turn the valve on and off without even getting into the utility company? And when you board upon an airplane and the airplane has a navigation route to get to New York or wherever it is you're going, it's driven by a computer. And when it's changed, your life is in danger. Think about it. Is your airplane's route safe? Anyway, the problems of cybersecurity of 10 and 15 years ago need to be revisited. If this was a problem of large enterprises and organizations, today it's the problem of the individual. The cybersecurity threat is becoming personal. And the question is, what differently can be done about it? Well, why is Israel? Why can Israel, just like in the defense forces, why on the civilian level can Israel present an ecosystem which can try to address some of these new order of problems in a totally different way? Well, Israel is a place where you have a variety of startups and innovation. You have the army and some of the technology units which are second to none in the world. You have institutions of higher learning like Ben Gurion University and the Technion and the Hebrew University and many others. And you have the biggest concentration of multinationals than any other place outside the United States. You have companies like Cisco and EMC and RSA and GE and Microsoft and many more that are here. They already have a design center here, and they can put some of their big problems in cybersecurity for addressing them here in Israel. But now the question is, can we do it in Beersheba in a way that's going to be categorically different? Think about it. In 1999, Ehud Barak, then the Prime Minister, put the first block in Beersheba and said it was going to be a high-tech park. And nobody built anything there for 13 years. And about 2.5 years ago, a group of entrepreneurs, we came to Beersheba, and instead of positioning it as Beersheba in high-tech, we proposed to position it as Beersheba in cyber security, when the army units are moving there. But we also proposed create a national incubator for new companies there. Create an incentive program for large and small organizations that they will know that if they move their innovation to Beersheba, they can get a big, not a small incentive. And actually, the government did create 1 or 2 incentives for specific companies like EMC and others. They're giving 40% of the salaries of each employee, which is great. But what we are asking for, don't make it as a one-time thing. Declare it as an incentive that is given to any company that moves there in the next, 7 to 10 years. Why? Because we're not talking about 200 or 300 employees in Beersheba like we have today, and with startups and with more mature companies. We want that in the next 5 years, Beersheba will have 5,000 employees in cybersecurity in the park right next to the university. And next to each employee that you have in cyber, you will have 2 additional or 3 additional employees in small businesses, in services, in culture, and other services that you need around the high-tech park like Beersheba. And then it would become a transformational center of excellence for the South. Tel Aviv is great, and we love it that it's so flourishing and prosperous and creative. But we need a few other centers in Israel of creativity that can change not only the business fabric, but the social fabric of society and allow the innovation to come to other regions and other societies in the country. And that is how you converge the business community, the high-tech community, the cyber community, not only for business transformation, but for social transformation that can affect a country, not just a business proposition. And so good luck to you guys. It's a big vision, and we hope that all of you will be part of it, whether you're in the public sector or the private sector. Toda rabah.